This is Presentation 1, an introduction to the New York State Grades 3 to 8 ELA rubric and scoring training. This presentation series will provide a close look at the new 2-point and 4-point ELA rubrics and offer an opportunity to apply them to sets of student responses to sample test questions measuring the New York State Common Core ELA standards. Before we begin, it's worth taking a moment to frame our minds around the reason why we are making these changes to truly prepare our students for college and careers, and how we are going to do this through a new set of standards, the Common Core and the instructional shifts. As most teachers have become familiar with these shifts, we are going to quickly review how these shifts will be evident in tests so that we are in a Common Core frame of mind when applying these rubrics for the first time. Shift 1 calls for balancing informational and literary text. Students should read a true balance of informational and literary texts. In terms of testing, passages will be authentic and there will be a balance between the two types. Shift 2 calls for knowledge in the disciplines, so students should build knowledge about the world, its various domains and content areas, through text rather than the teacher or activities. In terms of assessment, tests will contain knowledge-based questions about informational texts. Students will not need outside knowledge to respond. With Shift 3 being the staircase of complexity, students are being asked to read the central, grade-appropriate text around which instruction is centered. Teachers are patient and provide more time, space, and support in the curriculum for close reading. Tests, then, should involve passage selections based on text complexity appropriate to grade level according to the Common Core standards. With Shifts 4 and 5, text-based answers and writing from sources, students engage in rich and rigorous evidence-based conversations about text, and writing emphasizes the use of evidence from sources to inform or make an argument. Test questions will require students to marshal evidence from the text, including from paired passages. Finally, with Shift 6, academic vocabulary, students constantly build the transferable vocabulary they need to access grade-level complex texts. That can be done effectively by spiraling like content in increasingly complex texts. On assessments, students will be tested directly on the meaning of pivotal common terms, the definition of which can be discerned from the text. Academic vocabulary will also be tested indirectly through general comprehension of the text. When it comes to the actual reflection of the shifts in the test items, in the past, students were asked to do things like characterize the text, exhibit a cursory understanding of the lead character, comprehend one sentence from the entire text, understand basic non-consequential vocabulary, answer without a deep analysis of the text, look beyond text for stimuli, answer by recalling text details, and answer without complete sentences being required. Now, students will be asked to comprehend complex grade-level texts. Comprehension of complex text is assumed. It's not the focus of the measurement. Identify central themes and key text elements. Consider the entire text. Place aspects of the text in context of the entire text. And move beyond the basic recall of text details to make an inference as to how specific portions of text relate to the structure of the whole text. Wrestle with meaningful, real-world questions. Make and support text-based analyses, support their text-based analyses with key details, and to carry an analysis beyond one text relating details to overarching messages of both entire texts. This year's assessments are structured differently from those of the past so that they can properly assess students' mastery of the Common Core learning standards. The assessment is scheduled over 3 days and divided into 4 exam books. Unlike in the past, there is no listening section. All student responses will be based on the reading passages in the exam books. The students will be assessed through multiple choice questions in books 1 and 2. Those answers will be machine scored. In books 3 and 4, student skills will be assessed through written responses. Each booklet will contain one extended response that will be scored with the 4-point rubric and several short constructed responses that will be scored using the 2-point rubric. The use of those rubrics will be covered in the remaining presentations in this series.